Let's start with the first video. Get some react in there for you guys. It's called Your First Indie Game Should Suck. All right, let's see what he has to say about this.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Thomas Brush, and I make indie games for a living. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been making indie games from my bedroom, from my parents' basement, from my college dorm, from my desk job. No matter where I go in my life, I make indie games. Now, I do it full time. It's my job. I've released several games I'm working on.
So this is actually my dream, right here. What he's talking about. I mean, don't get me wrong, getting going with streaming would be awesome too. But man, I've been dreaming of being a game dev for a long time. So this is all interesting to me.
My third commercial release, and my job is to show you guys how to do it. So be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and leave a comment, and hit the notification bell, do all that cool stuff if you want to participate in this community learning how to make games. Now, specifically with this video, I actually want to show you an email that I got from Christopher. Christopher is basically asking about how to start making games. What is the process of making an indie game?
Okay.
I'm gonna sort of skim through this here, but he says, when I look at it all, I get a little overwhelmed with what to do. All I ever wanted to do since a very young age was to create video games. This is my...
Yeah, same. And I do get overwhelmed too. There's a lot to it. There's so much to it. If I was to throw something out there, so I'm not a game dev, I should probably just let this guy talk, but if I was to guess at the most important things to get started, I would have to say really just ironing out kind of a story idea, like something that really gets you excited, something that really gets you jazzed up, that really makes you feel like, hey, this is a cool idea, people could really get behind this. A really engaging story, like a really engaging story, can carry a game, even if the music isn't super great, graphics aren't like super exciting. If it's a good story, that can carry a game. I feel like that's true in general. If you look at games as like a kind of like a triangle, like so there's story, good story at the top. There's like really good music at the bottom right, and then really good art at the bottom left. So if any one of those is really extremely good, I think that can actually carry a game. Maybe I should make it a square and put like game mechanics up there, because obviously really good game mechanics can be super fun too. But I think that's really true. If you have one, or maybe probably more like two, that are really strong, that can totally carry a game, even if one or the other, or maybe a couple of the others, are not as good. That's my 2 cents. All right, let's go.
My passion. He's currently looking at C++ and using Unreal. So I'm not going to recommend either of those, but what I'm going to do is sort of give you a roadmap here, Chris, and hopefully this will help you guys out. A roadmap here of how you're going to make.
So I've dabbled with making video games a little bit. I don't know. How much should I say? I've dabbled a little bit for a long time, so I haven't really made a lot of progress, but I've dabbled. And I basically installed Unreal Engine, and then I was like, wait a second. Why would I do this when I can just use Unity? I don't know. I've mostly worked in Unity. I just thought I would try Unreal Engine because it seems like they're kind of always a little bit ahead in terms of graphics capabilities. But yeah, Unity really, they got something there. I mean, they make it easy. Or, you know, there's a little bit of challenge, of course, because it's kind of a you know, a technical, like, detailed thing to make a game, but they make it easier, I think.
Indie games. And here's the trick. We're gonna get to the last stage here. I've got all my tabs set up to show you the path.
Tell us the trick.
What's interesting is you're actually going to go full time before you finish your game. I know that sounds really weird. I'm gonna show you.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Really quickly, if you guys want it to be a little bit easier, I have a couple tabs open here. This is from my website, Full Time Game Dev. I have an easy 3D course. It's called Easy 3D. It's how to make a 3D game with no code and no...
if anybody's really interested, show him some support. Maybe buy his package. You never know. Maybe it's good.
Models. Totally free to enroll. Click below.
Oh,
Or
it's free.
I have a 2D game kit. If you're into 2D game development, there's a 2D game kit below. Totally free. I'd recommend signing up for both of these. There's no reason not to. You can use them whenever you want, however you want to.
Nice.
And then I also have a webinar on how to make 6 figures selling your indie games. These are three totally free resources that you can take a look at. Feel free to click the
Gotta
links
live
below
free.
while we talk about the first step. Okay, here's the first step. You know nothing about making indie games, right? You know absolutely nothing about making indie games. The first step is to go to Steam.
I know nothing. Teach me, sensei.
And look at the games that you really love. Go to your library or go to Steam or go to any platform of choice. Find the games that you really love. Okay?
Okay.
I need you to narrow it down to 2. Okay? Find what makes the
2 games. 2 games. Hey, this may be easy for some of you, but I think I would have a really hard time narrowing it down to 2 games to be like my inspiration. Holy cow.
those games really great. I highly recommend being inspired by indie games because their budget is probably going to be more similar to yours. Your budget, even if you're not paying yourself.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. That's one of the things that I always thought about with my dabbling in game design is like, you don't want to take on the biggest project. Like, you don't want to make your own Elden Ring, or you don't want to make your own like Final Fantasy 14 or World of Warcraft like as your first game, or even your second or third game. You really want to pace yourself. Like, yeah, indie game as an inspiration, like a platformer or a really simple like what do you call them, like dungeon crawler or something like that. Like, oh man, yeah, something simpler is better to get started. Like a platformer that just innovates a little bit so it's different, you know.
Your budget is tiny. It's like 10 grand. And again, you're not going to spend this money, but just imagine you have an hourly rate, okay? You're working on this game as a hobby project in the evenings or in the morning or through your lunch break or in school while your professor is talking about stuff you don't care about, like I did. You'll make your game on your laptop. That's all going to happen, and you're going to be doing it without paying yourself. That's totally fine, but you still need an hourly rate, an imaginary hourly rate. What games on Steam match that budget? Something like $10,000 to $30,000 is going to be the amount of time you spend on your game, okay? Find those 2 games that fit within that budget that you're inspired by. Use those as a reference point. Now, that takes us to our next step, the game design document.
The game design document. Oh, so many game devs out there getting started, I'm sure, did not take this seriously, did not think it was important, did not put the correct weight upon this document. But yes, indeed, it is important. Yeah, so that's like one of the most important things with game design, I think. A lot of people, I think a lot of people just getting started are like, oh, I got a great idea, I'll just wing it, It'll all come out, it'll all turn out good in the end. Like, they don't really realize that documentation, I know it's not as sexy or like exciting as the actual game development part, but documentation is very important. This document, this template that he's showing off right here, it's there for a reason. It's there to keep you kind of organized, to keep you on track. So yeah, anyway, I would highly recommend, if you're going to get started in game design, you need to make a game design document to keep you on track. It's important to set out some guidelines for yourself so that you don't get too ambitious or out of control or change things too much or something, especially if you are pitching to a publisher. Like, you want to get some funds from a publisher instead of just trying to do it all solo. Like, you have to have a game design document for a publisher.
Believe it or not, guys, I've been doing this for a long time, half my life, and I always find myself Googling game design document template.
Nice.
And I usually end up clicking this one here, okay? It's at StudyLib, okay? And it looks like we have an issue with the page here. That's great, very convenient. Okay, there we go. I always download this and I use it. Guys, the game design document is just going to help you flesh out your game, help you really get your game idea solidified, the mechanics, the look and feel, the music, the genre. That's super important because really you want guide rails, you want limitations, especially as an indie game developer. We don't have an unlimited budget. So stick within a genre. Yep. And also, this is super important, a target audience. All of this. Don't skip this step. Do not skip this step.
Right.
And I say that because I've done it, and I always go back and I end up doing it because it's so important. It helps you stick to your schedule. All of these elements here need to be filled out. It's going to take you a while. Fill out these elements. Get your game design document beautiful, print it out, maybe even sign it almost like it's a contract and have it handy.
Sign it like a contract. I will stick to this game design document all the way through development. That'll make it serious. That'll bring some gravity to the situation.
And start your game. All right, so now we're actually gonna start our game.
Okay.
Let's go to the next tab here, and all these links are below, guys. All these links are below. Every step of this process, the links are below. We're going to use Unity. Now, I know you said you want to use Unreal. That's totally fine too. Unreal has the same kind of resources we're going to discuss here. Unity or Unreal, they're competitors. They're both going to be our platforms of choice. And they're going to take our assets. Assets would be artwork, 3D models, sound effects, code. Bring those into one software and then port that game to various platforms.
Right.
I prefer Unity. That's what I love, so that's what I'm going to recommend.
Yeah, so I guess that's something that I could like kind of touch on. So there's Unity or there's Unreal Engine. Those are like the big game engines, and I guess there's some more minor ones too. There's like RPG Maker and stuff, but and there's a newer one called like Godot or whatever. But these are engines. These are platforms that allow you to like he's talking about, put all your files into it, kind of organize everything, have a visualization of everything, so you can kind of like drag and drop things and do a lot of UI or do a lot of changes to your game with like UI sliders and settings and stuff. But you don't have to make a game that way. You could completely just make a game from code, but that's way harder in my opinion. I mean, it gives you way more control, but you need to know way more because you're coding it all yourself. So you're essentially making your own game engine at that point, and that's just insane to me. I would highly recommend going with a game engine. You'll get started a lot faster. And oh man, Unity and Unreal. I think I honestly don't know which one would have more, but I've used Unity a lot, and there's a lot of free assets. And you can also find a lot of free assets online with some different sites. So I don't know. Unity is definitely my preferred.
I'm a huge advocate for Unity, but you can use Unreal as well. But if you are interested in following my channel and you want to sort of be part of the community, we're mostly Unity developers here at my channel. So Unity is what you're going to use here. So you're just going to click Start for free, and you're going to download the Unity Hub. The Unity Hub is going to allow you to install any version of Unity and just keep up with the latest updates.
Right.
Now you're thinking, okay, I just downloaded Unity. Now what do I do? Well, you need to learn Unity.
Thanks, Adobe.
Go to learn.unity.com. And guys, there's a ton of stuff to learn here. It's incredible. It's all free. Okay. Now, obviously, you can go to fulltimegamedev.com, which is my website, and learn Unity from me. but I'm not gonna.
So this is the cool thing about Unity to me. I mean, I'm sure Unreal has some tutorials too, but Unity seems to have a really nice fleshed out like tutorial system and what do you call it? Like basically documentation, like just kind of detailing out all the different like classes and methods and stuff. It's really nice.
Pitch that right now. You could go to Unity or learn.unity.com, and I highly recommend you just like we did with the game design document. We're not going to skip steps here, guys. Be consistent, be disciplined, and go through
Got like an
each
eyelash or
course
something.
here. I think maybe Unity Essentials and Junior Programmer is
Junity.
about all you really need to look at. You could definitely do Creative Core here, but these two are super duper important. Now, if you want to make a game fast, which I highly, highly recommend you make a game fast, your first game should be crap. It should not be great. You should get it out of the way, get it done, so that you can check it off your list and say, I made my first game. Release it on itch.io, link is in the description. Release that game. It's going to be a crap game. And
So this is something that I've thought about for myself too. Is like, do I try and make the awesome game first? And I think he's right here. I think no. I mean, I know it kind of seems counterintuitive. Like, why would you want to make a crap game? But I think just to get the process out of your system, like, okay, I know how to do all the things now. I know how to go from start to finish. I know how to, you know, get a game onto a platform like itch.io. I know how to do the whole process, whether it's a good game or not. Like, just having that full, completed practice behind you so that you know how to do it for the good game. Like, and then you can really put your time into it and effort and, like, okay, I'm really pouring myself into this, and I'm not going to get stuck halfway through because I know the whole process now.
the way we're going to do it fast, the way we're going to get this out of the way and just get it over with. Again, you want to get your game over with because you want to get your first game over with because your first game is going to be crap. So might as well just release it, okay? You're not going to make much
It's going to be crap.
money off of your first game. That's okay. Spend a couple weeks to 3 months working on this first game.
Okay.
Release it on itch.io, and you're going to build that thick skin. That thick skin is going to help you know or have the strength to actually release games. Most of you watching this video, I hate to break it to you, most of you watching this video, you're not going to release games. You're going to keep making games, but never finish them. So I'm going to challenge you right now. Finish your first game.
That's me so far.
Get it done. It doesn't matter if it's good. Get it done.
I make games, but I never finish them.
Because there's a little bit of a psychology game here. You get kind of a rush. It's almost like taking a hit of a cigarette. I don't know. Something like that. It's a rush. And it's like, wait a second. That felt good. And you're going to keep doing it.
I can see that.
And doing it more. Okay? It's addicting, releasing games. So here's how we make games fast. Once you learn Unity, once you take these classes here, totally free here.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the Unity Asset Store. Now, if you want to make a 2D game, we're going to click on 2D. And guys, there are so many assets on the Unity Asset Store for 2D games. It's unbelievable.
Nice.
There's kits. Okay, so I offer a 2D game kit, right? And I use this game kit to make a game for PewDiePie in 14 days. Or you can, let's see here. You can download assets. So there's kits to make a game really fast.
Yeah.
It's got the infrastructure there ready to go. You just follow their documentation. Or there's just like, let's say assets. Like if you really needed, a pixelated goblin enemy, it's $5.
Right.
Okay, to download this goblin enemy. Now, here's what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, well, this is going to make a really incohesive, muddy game. And the answer is correct. But again, we're trying to release our first game here.
This is correct. It's going to be a mess, and that's the point. I am taking notes. This is interesting to me. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll just go for it, even though it's going to look crazy, and just get one out. Anyway, here we go.
Here. Let's get it done fast. It's okay if it's muddy and incohesive. Let's just get it done, all right? We can focus on making a highly polished game for your second and third game. I know a lot of you don't like hearing that. Really, you need to do that. You need to make a crappy game first. Just get it out of the way.
Just pull the Band-Aid off. Ah, there it is. I pulled the Band-Aid off.
Just get your game done. I promise you, it's you can't really skip that step, okay?
Okay.
Now, if you want to make a 3D game, there's 3D assets as well. Let's let this page load here. Yeah, there's 3D assets as well. And it's a lot easier to make a 3D game that's cohesive in style. I don't know why. I think it's just because most 3D models, regardless of their style, kind of look good together, especially because you can put lighting and shadows and post-processing effects, and that's just making your camera, it's like an Instagram filter, basically.
Yep.
You can make things look good even if they're from a variety of different packs. And again, there's...
He mentioned Instagram filters. Make that game Instagram ready, folks.
There's templates for games. Like if you really wanted to make a ball roller game, a roller ball game, there's packs for that. Isn't that cool? There's just packs here. Ball roll. Yeah, there's all kinds of packs here. Look at this. Swipe ball controller.
Ball roll.
You don't have to build all this from scratch. It's pretty amazing. And then let's say you're like, well, if I'm making a roller ball game or a marble game, what if I want some trees? Like some beautiful trees while I'm rolling a ball around. Just type in trees. And now I have all these 3D trees. This is also really helpful using assets. It's really helpful to use assets because what it's going to do is you're going to actually be able to study what people have already made.
Yep.
And so instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, you just download trees and you go, oh, that's how they made that tree. Or, oh, there's the texture on that tree. Actually, I kind of understand texturing a little bit. That's definitely true for me. I just started downloading assets. I've got a ton of assets. Guys, I've been doing this for a really, really long time. Okay? I've been making games for about half my life.
He's experienced. He's in the know.
Look how many assets I have. And this is just after the past, 3 years, 4 years.
Whoa, of 194.
There's 194 assets I've downloaded.
Jeez.
And I make commercial games. My games are on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo.
Yep.
Apple Arcade, Steam. So I release games and I do this full time and I make a good living and I'm using assets.
Nice.
So don't ever be ashamed to use assets. So download these 2D assets, these 3D assets, and start putting them into your game. A lot of you are thinking, Thomas, I'm going to make custom assets. That's great. If you want to do that, that's great.
Or 5 minutes, like a 5-minute demo, pretty short, but it's totally polished and complete. It's really interesting.
Our first prototype for our first commercial release. A prototype is, they call it a vertical slice. It can be a demo. It can be called a pitch, right?
Okay.
It's actually a variety of things. And the reason we're going to make this hyper-polished vertical slice, this demo, this pitch, is so that we can secure funding, okay?
Funding!
So just like a job interview.
You need that money.
Most of us know how to get jobs, right? Why is that? Because we're taught that at school.
Yep.
We're taught how to get a job.
Well, not really.
But as my father-in-law would say,
Whoa. School teaching us how to get a job? No, they don't do that. They don't do that. You learn fun stuff like social sciences and, I don't know. God, you see, it was so useless I can't even remember the subjects. It was so useless I can't even remember the subjects that I learned. Like civics and I don't know. Well, and then all the basics like math, writing, reading, whatever. But yeah, they do not teach you how to get a job in school. I wish they did. That would be an actual useful skill. Pay taxes. How to get a job. Important things.
He's a landscaper. He would call it, he wins jobs because he runs his own business and he wins jobs. He goes.
I like that. That's good. I win jobs. I don't just get them. I'm not given them. I win them.
Goes to somebody's house. He pitches his services. He pitches his price. And then he wins a job as opposed to gets a job.
It's pretty cool.
Get a job when you get it like a boss and they give you a paycheck. Winning a job is getting paid to make something, right? You get a lump sum cash advance for a product you create. And that is what the pitch is for. This is a website I made on Squarespace, okay? This is my pitch for my game Father, okay? I've got a big trailer here that I spent a lot of time on with the demo graphics.
Nice.
And the playthrough of the demo. I've got plot summary. I've got a link to the demo on itch.io. I've got the ability to wish list. But this isn't really for... Wish listing isn't, excuse me, really for publishers. I might actually delete that wish list button. We've got screenshots. We've got me saying hello. Look at this.
Are you a filmmaker or a content creator? And looking for
YouTube! Why must you do this?
Sound effects for no...
Okay.
This is like a beautiful... Honestly, this is a really great pitch. And it worked, by the way. You know, a lot of publishers reached out. But me introducing myself, being salesy, all of my credentials, beautiful artwork here of the guns, ideas about the gameplay, the hook, the project scope.
Nice.
Scope meaning...
I hope you guys are paying attention if you're interested in game design. This guy's got some good notes. He seems like, from all the videos I've watched and then this one as well, like he just seems really put together.
How big is this thing? How big is this game? And this isn't done. None of this is done. The game doesn't have 9 enemy types. The game doesn't have 8 weapons yet. It doesn't have 6 ascending levels yet. This is the pitch, okay? So that is what you need to create. Get your demo done, get a trailer done, and you would use Adobe Premiere for your trailer, and you would capture graphics in Unity using the Unity Record feature, which is in the package manager.
Wait. I just learned something right there. I didn't even know there was a Unity Record feature. Okay, HiMrSmiles. It's time to take some notes. Stop screwing around. You could get serious about this. Just learn from people who know.
You would put all of this together into your pitch. One website with all of the links, all of the trailers, all of the graphics, you introducing yourself.
Yep.
Everything is in one website.
Right.
And then you send that to a list of 100 to 200 publishers, okay? Here's an example.
100 to 200 publishers. So when I was imagining myself doing this, I'm like, okay. I got to get it out to like 10, 20, 30, you know, just make sure I get a nice scattering of options when I go to do this someday. Like 100 to 200. So you're literally just going down the list of all publishers, just like, okay, send, like all of them.
This is
It's
current
crazy.
games, right? You guys know about a lot of publishers, right? There's plenty. There's Team 17. There's Bloober. There's a ton of different publishers. There's Devolver.
Okay.
There's Tiny Build. There's a ton of publishers. There's hundreds. You reach out to them with your pitch and you say, hey, I need $100,000 to finish this game. Can you imagine if you pitched your first game,
That's
crappy
crazy.
game you made, with all those assets and you barely knew how to make games? This is why I recommend don't use that first game as your pitch. Because
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to make, let's say you do convince a publisher. Well, you pitched them a garbage game that you didn't really know how to make.
Exactly.
You really need to know how to make games before you secure 6 figures plus in funding.
And so now we've learned, yes, we have to get that crap game out first. Get it out of your system. Get it out. And then get the rush of the completion. Yes, I've actually completed a project. I know the process now. And then get excited. Get that idea rolling in your head that's like, oh, this is going to be a good game. I've got it. I got the crap game out, and now I've got the good game. And do it. And pitch it to a publisher. Or do it all yourself, but you don't get the funding that way. That's harder.
Okay? So these publishers are going to pay you a paycheck. They might do it monthly. They might do it in one lump sum. They might do it in milestones. They're going to send you a paycheck. And you're going to quit your job and go full time. And it's all with a very simple demo that you created.
I like it.
Using the knowledge I just shared with you. Again, I highly recommend you release your first crappy game before you do this, because you're going to learn a lot in releasing that crappy game. Okay? That's it. And
Nice.
Then you make your game. You finish it, right?
I think that was pretty good. I actually really enjoyed that. So this was Your First Indie Game Should Suck by Thomas Brush on YouTube. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. There's some really good pointers there. So basically, get the crappy game out of your system. Use all free assets. Just use all free assets. Grab random free music and art and just everything from free sites or the Unity asset store. Just grab a bunch of free stuff. Throw together your first game. Like, get it out of your system, like really basic mechanics, or it doesn't have to be like super engaging or exciting or whatever. Just do the whole process from start to finish. Get it out, get it uploaded somewhere, or out there, and then you're ready for your real game. You're ready to get serious. You can create a super fancy 5-minute demo, pitch it to a publisher, boom, and you're in. If only it's that easy, huh? But yeah, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that video.